My name is Madison Dennis, and this is a presentation on a workplace problem solved with decision making and by problem solving. How can we update customers in a timely manner? I work for a well-known Honda body shop on the north side, just outside of Columbus, Ohio. During the last year or so, there has been a large influx of stalled repairs due to backordered parts. This stems from the supply chain issues that the entire world is experiencing right now. In turn, this has brought down our entire process of accurately updating our customers on when their vehicle will be done. Normally, we give the customer a target date for when we think the car will be completed based on how many hours are on the estimate or subsequent supplements to complete the job. The problem starts when we order parts and don't realize that some of them are on back order. That's because Honda of America's parts system isn't equipped to update the way it should for the magnitude of backordered parts there are. Therefore, we would have to check over 100 vehicles a day to see where the parts are, except you have to do it part by part. You can't just copy and paste this into Honda's system. That means that the target dates that we tell the customer based on the hours gets missed because of no parts, and customers expectedly call in quite often to get their own updates, where normally we would be able to proactively update them. On top of all that, we have been short-staffed by half since all have come back from the pandemic shutdowns, and we are busier than we were before then. Our phones ring off the hook, and we spend most of our days running around trying to get on-the-spot updates for our customers, and we have no time to do our actual daily duties. So the problem we have is customers are not getting updates in a timely manner when there are backordered parts. I wanted to make sure I was getting to the true root of the problem and to make sure I was defining it properly. I started by creating a fishbone diagram so I could dissect each variable further and further to make sure my problem was focused. In doing this, I realized that there were a few more issues causing the problem than I originally thought. In a way, the fishbone simplified things a bit, like it was supposed to, but in another way, it broadened the scale of the problem. Another tool I used was the 5-problem restatement technique. The first one, to paraphrase your problem. Why are we not able to give timely updates to customers? Then spin it 180 degrees. Why are customers getting timely updates on their vehicle's repairs? Next is to broaden the focus or restate your problem. Why is the office staff unable to find time to give timely updates? Then I redirected it. Why do customers need timely updates? And then my favorite, why ask why? Why are customers not getting timely updates on their vehicle's repairs? Because the staff does not have adequate time to proactively update the customers. Why don't they have adequate time to do that? Because we are inundated with backordered parts. Why are we inundated with backordered parts? Because the office does not have enough staff to operate their normal duties to help create a process to organize the vehicles with backordered parts. Why do we not have enough staff? My next task was to brainstorm with my coworkers to get their input on what some potential solutions could be. I completed this process in our shared break room while on lunch. It was the best time to get several people together from both the office and out in the shop. When they learned what I was trying to accomplish, they were all in, especially since I was trying to solve something that was affecting all of them. Some of the ideas made us all laugh, like when someone said that we should have the GM answer the phones to show him exactly what's going on. But other ideas were so imaginative, like trying to pursue a color coding system or trying to put everything into one digital space. This process led me to some ideas that I could have never thought of on my own. Later, I took all the ideas and put them into categories. The ones in red are obvious no-goes. The ones in yellow are plausible but unlikely, and the ones in green are the ideas that I thought could be functional and were reasonable. Trying to rationalize the potential solutions meant trying to think like a devil's advocate or try to focus on the risks, dangers, obstacles, problems, and downsides of them. Using the first question took some gut instinct, so I only chose 4 of the 6 potential solutions to focus on, leaving the digital space and color coding system as ideas for the future. That left me with hiring someone new, trying a new emailing system, daily technician meetings, and trying to start setting realistic expectations to the customer at the time of drop-off. Some weaknesses of these solutions include not enough support for the weight of the problem. Some of them might not be enough to significantly help. Implementing a new process might do the exact opposite of what we are trying to do, which is streamline the day so we can get our daily duties completed and be able to update customers in a timely manner. All of the solutions would fit within the policies of our organizations. However, we might run into a problem with the GM resisting the solution to hire someone new. He sees our numbers every month, and because they are actually really great, he doesn't think we have a problem. I know that sounds backwards, but that's another workplace problem for another day. In my opinion, the most important part of the weighted ranking matrix is the criteria used to do the actual ranking. The cost efficiency of the solutions was the least important factor because while most of the solutions cost close to nothing, I knew that one of them did. And with our amazing monthly numbers being a factor to our GM, it was important to include it as a criteria. I decided to separate support from the staff and support from the management into two separate columns because the staff and the management have different viewpoints. The staff involved with the problem directly has a different set of goals and criteria as compared to the managers involved in improving the proposed solution. Integration of the solution needs to be seamless as the problem at hand has put more and more stress and duties on the staff. Therefore, the solution cannot cause more work than absolutely necessary. And for those same reasons, the implementation of the solution needs to be quick. This process was beneficial as it allowed me to take some of the emotion out of finding the best of some great options. My first initial instinct was that hiring someone was the best solution, but this process helped me to see the other options outranked it. As I said before, as one of the weaknesses that we might need to overcome, I don't think that the number one ranked solution of setting realistic expectations will do enough to help us keep customers updated. Therefore, I think the ideal solution is to combine the number one and number two ranked solutions, to set realistic expectations and hold daily meetings with the technicians on their progress with each of their assigned vehicles. This ideal solution doesn't take too much to implement, but there are a few steps that we will need to take to make sure it is effective and efficient. First is to create the right word track so that management will be comfortable with it to ensure we aren't setting the customer's expectations too low. We also need to create a process or a system that will streamline the daily meetings so we aren't being redundant and wasting time. This process might take some time to train everyone, but worth it once we're all familiar with what information needs to be known and how to capture it for future meetings. Lastly, we will need to make sure that we have appropriate times set up with the technicians that both coincides with their personal habits and schedules and isn't disrupting the office staff's busy times of the day. Some other considerations that need to be thought about when proposing this implementation is what caliber of a solution it is and how will it need to be accepted. One thing to keep in mind about this workplace problem is that it stems from a cause that we have absolutely no control over. Backordered parts is the backbone of this problem, and we can only solve how we react to it. This solution will help with the morale of the office. It will also help decrease the number of incoming calls, and it will help to increase the communication we have with our customers. All of that leads me to believe that we should strive for a high acceptance of a quote-unquote low quality solution. We need to make sure we aren't wasting time, energy, or resources by keeping meetings short and to the point. Technicians are not paid by the hour, so time spent during these daily meetings need to be beneficial to them as much as they are beneficial to the office staff. They will know that keeping communication between the techs and us will help with updating customers, but if they have to spend a lot of time during these meetings, they will quickly start to resent the process and it will be all for nothing. And lastly, we need to keep in mind that this process is to ensure that we continue to keep the integrity of our brand and our shop high in this very rough time. Being transparent and open with the customers will hopefully show them that they can continue to trust us and remind them why they chose us in the first place. Thanks so much for listening, and I look forward to your feedback.